Okay, so obviously the reason that you're doing this entire video is to answer the question, what is happiness, number one? Number two, are you happy? And why do you think you are or are not? Number three, what is like the key to happiness? So like things that you would do to be happy in the moment. Do you think happiness is achievable? Or do you think it's kind of like a wild goose chase to make yourself feel like you have purpose or whatever? So question number one, what is happiness to you?
Okay, so I think happiness can be split up into a couple of different categories because it's just a word, right? It's not actually like...
It's just a meaning that we've given to a feeling, right?
Well, no, it's a meaning we've given to a lot of different feelings
Right.
and a lot of different states of mind. People give happiness, they attribute it to serotonin, like to production of serotonin in your brain. So it could be, chemically, like biochemically.
Yeah.
Or like, the way that humans are made is they're made to release the serotonin. But as you get older, it's a natural part of life to stop receiving that serotonin, right? When you're a kid, like everything gives you, endorphins and dopamine, and I'm probably not using those terms completely correct because I'm not a psychologist.
But we get the point.
Yeah, right. And so as you get older, like your reward system changes, and it's harder for you to receive these chemicals of happiness, right?
Right. Like, so I went to Disney World as a kid, and holy shit, it was the best experience that I had ever had. And I went recently, and the magic had just kind of gotten lost.
Yeah, it's not there because it's not new. There's no novelty, and it's just. So I think as an adult, what you have to do is redefine happiness.
Right. And
what you have to start doing is thinking, okay, I'm not a child anymore. How do I find happiness in my life? And I think happiness really starts from simplicity. And that's kind of a cliche, but if you think about it,
the more complex things get, the more complex you have to be to get happiness.
To understand them, for me, the more complex things are, the more I have to think about it, and the more I think about it, the less my feelings are involved, and the more my rational part of thinking is involved. Definitely. I think that when you start to think about things too much, because I think that's one of the biggest things that keeps me from happiness is I think too much, and I let my thoughts dictate how I feel, and half the time I'm thinking about things that I have no control over, or like literally aren't even real. Like I'll be in my brain somewhere, and like in my mind I'm like in like another state or something, or I'm in like a depressing place, and it's like, what am I doing, dude? I'm not even like there. Cliche number two is live in the moment. I think this is something that's so fucking hard. Like it's really, really hard because you have to stop thinking. You have to turn your brain off for a minute.
Definitely.
And think, okay, I'm not gonna think about yesterday, how I felt yesterday, right? But I'm not gonna worry about what I have to do tomorrow. I'm gonna be right here, right now. And when you can start to do that, you can get like micro doses of happiness, I think. It's not going to be like, oh, you learn how to live in the moment and you're just, there's nothing wrong with you. You have a perfect life and everything. No, but like once you start to learn to live in the moment, you start to just capture things for what they truly are, not for what you fucking think they are, or like the way you process. Like we're sitting on a playground right now, right?
Yeah.
I'm living in the fucking moment right now.
No, this is the happiest I've been in the last week, dude. And I went to Disney World like a couple of fucking days ago.
Dude, literally, because we're just trying to, and a little background for people watching this is Alex is moving to Texas tomorrow, and this is probably the last time I'm going to see him for at least a really long time.
Yeah.
And so we're on a playground in Biloxi, we're just talking, and I'm just thinking about, like, I'm living in the moment right now. I'm not worried about having to go to work tomorrow. I'm not worried about the shit I did today or the fact that I had a really boring day, honestly. I'm not even worried about that shit anymore. I'm living in the moment. Now, am I in euphoria? No, I'm not in euphoria, but like the more I learn to live like this, the less I'm thinking about other shit, and I'm here. I'm right at this playground. Definitely. I'm not on the fucking moon thinking about, or I'm not like thinking about me in 20 years, which like more than likely it's not accurate at all, because that's another thing I think about is like, what am I going to do after college?
Right.
Like, what am I going to do in college? And the more I realize, like, this is such a stupid thing to worry about. Like, I'm going to college. I don't have to worry about it. I'm getting a degree. I'm going to get a job. I don't even have to worry about it. I know I'm getting off on a tangent, but it's like, stop thinking about the future, bro. Stop thinking about the past. I don't really think about the past that much as some people do, which is why I wouldn't say I'm necessarily depressed, because a lot of people that are stuck in the past are usually really depressed.
Right. And I was like that for a while, because I was stuck on someone. I don't want to name names just in case you watch this, but hey, if you are. But fucking, I was stuck on them for a while, and I'd only recently got off of them. And like, the thought of them or the sight of them would just make my stomach wrench.
Yeah.
But now that I think about it, I just kind of it's like they have nothing to do with me anymore. I haven't
Yeah.
talked to them in so long, so it doesn't really matter
And
anymore.
you know what's interesting about that is that feeling you get when you think about them. That's not from them. That's from you.
That's from you, because that's whatever feeling that you've associated towards them.
Literally, no one can force you to have a certain kind of emotion. You know,
Most
every time
definitely.
you say, you know, this person made me mad, whatever. But I say that to say this, and is happiness is within, for one thing.
Okay.
You know, I think there's things like conditions in your life, you know, where you live, what kind of car you drive, who you're married to, you know, whatever your social
It's all
life.
very like materialistic.
It's materialistic, and I'm not going to be that guy that's like, oh, that shit won't bring you happiness. Like, in a way, that shit will bring you happiness,
Most
but it's
definitely.
going to be short-term happiness. It's not going to be long-term happiness, because long-term happiness comes from taking a moment to just appreciate the little shit in life. And that goes back to my first point, which is simplicity. Like, you know, when you're not thinking about things are simple.
Right.
Like, this playground's simple as fuck, dude. It's just a playground. Like, there's nothing that deep about it.
But for some reason, it just brings you happiness to be here and experience whatever you're experiencing in the moment.
Right.
And just doing that, it just like, it detaches your mind from whatever, like for some reason, I'm scared to be driving 6 hours tomorrow all the way to Texas. But in this moment, I am not feeling any fear. I'm not feeling any pain. I'm not thinking about my ex that broke up with me a year ago. I'm just living in this moment, and I'm fucking fine. Like this.
That's pretty great.
No, it's fine. It's great.
It's awesome.
Fuck yeah. So there's question one. So happiness is simplicity.
Simplicity, living in the moment, not overthinking things.
Right.
It comes from within.
Okay.
So question number 2. What was
Are
question-
you happy?
Shit, man. Okay, now is where I look kind of like a hypocrite, because I'll be the first to say I'm not.
Okay, it's not like a simple like.
No,
Oh,
fucking scream it out
happy.
to the world. I'm not fucking happy. Just
I'm
say
not
it.
happy yet in my life.
Fucking yeah. I'm
I feel
not
like,
happy.
I feel like I'm not like I said earlier. I feel like we're tripping on acid right now. But
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, like, I'm not happy yet, and
Well, look, okay, I have really happy moments, and,
Right.
and everyone does. And every time, the one thing that those happy moments have in common is I'm always living in the moment,
Definitely.
and I'm always just absorbing life and what it has to offer. Now, I think being on my phone is that's. I don't want to be like, oh, that's the reason I'm not happy, or this is the reason that's not happy.
It's like
because
you
it's
can't
within.
you can't place it on any specific thing.
You can't.
Happiness is a feeling. You can't associate it with anything happening. Like you
Right.
can be like, oh shit, I just won the lottery. Now I'm happy. It's like, oh yeah, that brings you dopamine. That like you're happy now. And then automatically after that, you're gonna start thinking, how much is the government gonna take away from me? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna go through this so fast. I gotta put this in savings. You start worrying more. Like for some reason, happiness brings along a lot of other. I'm going off on a tangent, but are you happy?
Well, okay, what I was gonna say is, you
Yeah.
know, I'm not happy necessarily as in I'm always happy,
Right.
but I think I know what I need to do to be happy, and I think it's a long road to success, but I think I have, you know, I'm confident that I'll get there pretty soon.
Right.
You know, I don't think that like,
Because it's a fucked up question for me to ask.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's like, you don't understand it 100%. It's like, are you happy right now? Are you happy this year? Are you happy this week? What I'm asking is generally, how have you been feeling recently, and how do you think you're going to be
Okay.
feeling in the future? Because,
So-
like, I'm sorry.
oh no, you're good.
Okay, so,
you're
like,
view.
I separate, like, my life into different, like, fucking, into different chapters, and I do it in a really weird way. I do it every time I change shampoo.
Oh, okay.
Because every
That's
time
cool.
every time I
Holy
have a
shit,
certain
wait,
thought,
that's kind of dope.
no, every time I have a different thought, I associate it with a different smell. And when I smell that, I start
That's so
feeling
true.
either happy again or sad again.
That's
and
so
it doesn't
true.
make sense. But it
Dude,
makes sense.
oh,
kind
that's
of.
so true. This is not really related, but like you can smell that shampoo that you wore
I
last
swear.
year, and it's like, holy shit, bro.
It's like holy no.
Like, I feel
And
like I'm
no,
back
here's the
there.
thing. If I smell the exact same cologne that my ex wore, I will
Oh my
automatically
God,
start
dude.
thinking again. It's like, oh my
I
god.
get
it's-
so emotional. all
No,
of a
me
sudden.
too. I start thinking and it's like, oh my god, I kind of miss being back in Biloxi with my ex-girlfriend.
In 2018 or whatever.
It was
the hell
2000
was.
fucking like 19.
For me, it would have been like 2019 as well. and
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool though. The shampoo thing. I need to write that down because that's actually really dope.
That's how I do it. So like,
I like that. a
are you
lot.
happy in this phase of shampoo?
Yeah, right. I mean, I typically, I don't know. I use the same shampoo, but
Definitely start changing that shit.
dude, I need to. But I don't know, dude, because like lately I've been feeling really depressed, but I know exactly why I've been feeling depressed. I
Right,
think.
like, that
and I
makes
think
sense.
the reason why I'm feeling depressed is maybe oversharing, but I'm indulging too much.
Right,
And,
and, like-
and it's not on happy things. It's on like bad things. Like I'm not gonna go into detail, but like just bad things.
I'll get my YouTube video taken down.
Yeah, no, I'm not even gonna like self-incriminate discriminate or any of that stuff.
Yeah, don't do that. But like, yeah, the
but
original
bad
question-
things, and it's not all bad things, as in like, oh, this is like bad or whatever. It's just bad things. Like, I don't need that in my life right now, dude. I need to focus on me. I need to focus on living in the moment.
But would that bring you
having
happiness?
experience. Yeah, I think cutting those things out would bring me happy, or it would help me. Because you know why it would help me? It would help me live in the moment. When I'm always on my phone checking social media, it's impossible to be in the moment because you're prompted by whatever's on your phone.
So, you know, the original question, are you happy in this phase of shampoo? And why or why not?
No, but every time I get depressed, I still have faith, and I think that that's part of the underlying happiness that I have as a human being.
Right.
Like, that's part of my. It's hard
like
to
that spark of
describe.
hope.
I feel like in like our Western world, we don't have a word to describe the kind of thing I'm talking about. But as my spirit is like a happy spirit.
Yeah.
However, it's being distracted by things on Earth that are not necessarily.
You don't need them.
I don't need that shit to be happy. Like, I think, doing this is gonna make me happy, right? No, doing that's only gonna make you feel kind of good for like a few seconds, and then you're just gonna be addicted to it.
Right.
So like, I don't need that shit to be happy. Honestly, I'm pretty happy. You know,
In the moment, yeah.
I can go to parties and be sober.
Yeah.
And have fun.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I need to choose to do that more often, because it's like I don't need to I don't need to do this other stuff. I don't need to, to just overindulge, and that's where my source of happiness comes from. I need to take care of business first.
Right.
Take care of business.
Like
Live
work
in the
than play.
moment.
That's kind of like a motto in life, but I think it's overused sometimes because people will overwork themselves, and then after 10 years of working, they'll play for a week, and then that's it. That's what they look forward to for 10 years. And for some, it's a good drive, but
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
think it
trying
keeps
to-
you happy.
It's like trying to learn, trying to save up for vacation. It's not really. I don't know.
It's like a never-ending kind of thing.
I'm all about balance. I love balance. I love balancing, doing fun things and like rebellious things, and then like
Working.
spontaneous things, and then working really, really, really fucking hard.
Yeah.
And then just spending time with my family. I just love balancing things, and I think that's another way to get happiness. But to go back to the original question, no, I'm not really completely happy right now. And last time we tried to do this interview, I said I was pretty happy. Now, keep in mind, I was also on summer break, didn't have to do anything. So I don't like to let my conditions dictate my happiness, because I could be living and be really, really poor. But a few of the things I am, though, that can kind of contribute to my happiness, just not all the way. I'm really grateful, dude. I'm really, really grateful about my life. I feel like, I'm surrounded by some pretty good people.
What is 100% your way to attain happiness, whether it be in the moment or a constant chase?
God, see, dude, that's a question I feel like I'm not even ready to answer, man. Like,
No, it's like just like random things you'll do on the daily. It's like, oh, I'm kind of sad. I'll listen to this song.
Yeah,
or, like,
yeah.
I'll go skating.
so yeah,
or-
listening to music, doing things that are enjoyable, obviously makes me pretty happy again.
I feel like happy isn't a word to describe that, like, that
Such
sense
a weird
of.
word.
It's not. I don't feel like it's a good describing.
It's
word.
not made for this.
Like,
Describe doing fun things.
it's like here's the thing. I don't think it's truly happiness. Say like you go to Disney World and you feel happy for a bit, I guess, but you don't feel as happy as you would if you finally confronted that thing that's been bothering you for so long.
I don't think as humans we're able to constantly be happy, because a lot of times in my mind I regard happiness as in like a feeling that if I were to experience it right now, I would feel like I could die tonight,
Yeah,
and I would be
and you'd be fine. Yeah,
But the thing about that is like that's not how humans
because
are built.
Yeah,
and so like
there's
can't
built-in
really-
curiosity with being a human.
Right.
So in short, happiness is
Simplicity, not overthinking.
right.
Not being in your thoughts all day long, dude. There's a famous quote: "Someone that always thinks has nothing to think about but thinking."
Yeah.
And it's so true. It's like you're literally just thinking about your fucking thoughts.
Here's the thing. I think you can go a bit deeper with that quote. Your mind is a prison, and you trap yourself in it.
You do. That's survival too, for one thing. Because people that are always anxious and people that are always like in their thoughts are always
You'll
prepared.
never be able to live in the moment.
I love this conversation, and I think these are truly like ways to be happy, like having these mindsets locked in. The problem is I just always feel like I revert back to my old mindset, which is negative thoughts, and not always, but like I just think it's so hard to like live life every day and have these thoughts, because after a certain time it doesn't really affect my brain the same.
Right. That's a tangent, though. So, here, last question: is happiness a wild goose chase, or is it something that you can attain?
I think you can obtain it. I think, but we just never believe when people are like, "Oh, I'm happy." You're like, "Yeah, sure you are." Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I think like there's some people that are happy that are rich. There's some people that are happy that are poor. There's some people that are not happy that are rich, and there's some people that are not happy that are poor. So it's like it's not about money. It could help you become happy, like, because if you have money, you can travel, and you're always just gonna be like living a good life. So don't get me wrong, having money would probably make you a little bit happier of a person. However, if you don't truly have that mindset, if you're just a shitty, person, and you just are only in it for yourself, and you're not really thinking about the fact that none of this shit really matters, you're not going to be a happy person. And so I think it's partially a wild goose chase, but if you really, the problem is it's just being, like,
Yeah.
it's just, it's so, just go against the hardwiring of your brain, man. It's hard, but at the same time, it's not hard at all. All you have to do is just stop thinking about shit.
Fuck yeah.
Just live in the moment. So it's like, in a way, it's a wild goose chase. In a way, it's really just a matter of knowing how to just turn your brain off, dude, and
just not think, because some people who don't think at all about anything are the happiest people in the world.
And yeah, in a way, I feel really bad for them because
they'll never be able to comprehend these conversations. But at the same time, you kind of want to be that person, because then you'll never know that these conversations exist, but you are happy, and you don't have to contemplate what happiness is. And I think to be happy, you do have to experience the bad parts, and I already talked about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, fuck yeah, this interview is great, and
it's a great moment. You gotta remember this moment.